Good day, ladies and gents. All right, so today we're going to be starting our word problem. So we're on page 17. So make sure that you have page 1 of your hot topics out. Very helpful. All right, let's get this going. All right, so what is the approximate volume? So we're on number 1 here. Zoom in a little bit. What is the approximate volume of the rectangular prism with the cylindrical hole shown below? So basically, what we want to do is find the rectangular prism, and either you can draw or you can just say rectangular prism, and we're going to subtract that cylinder. That is the basic gist. Okay, so now the rectangular prism is 8.5 by 6 by 21.25. All right, so volume of a prism is base area times the height of the shape. So base area times the height. Now, what shape is the base? A rectangle, right? And what is the area of a rectangle? So length times width. So that's the base area, and the height will still be the 3D height. So it's basically length times width times height. So all we have to do is multiply those three numbers: 8.5 times 6 times 21.25. And when you put that in your calculator, so 8.5 times 6 times 21.25, you pop out with that number. So 1083.75. Okay, now let's try the cylinder. Now the cylinder, here's the thing. So we know that all the way across is 8.5, right? And we know, I'm sorry, it's not. It's because this is not standing like this, it's sideways. So let's go ahead and redraw that. So it's like this. So we want this distance. So we know all the way across 8.25, but this is 2 and this is 2. So what's left over? So what would be left over in the middle here? So 8.5 minus the 2 and the 2, and we left with 4.5. So right here is 4.5. So all the way across is 4.5, and this distance right here is still 6. So from here to here is 6. All right, now volume. Volume for a cylinder. Now it's still base area times height because it's still a prism. And the base, what shape is the base? That is a circle. So that'd be pi r squared times the 3D height. Okay, so now that we replace that, we're just going to plug everything in, right? Okay, so I know that the radius, diameter, and the 3D height, right? So the diameter is 4.5. So if the diameter is 4.5, then what would the radius have to be? 4.5 divided by 2, we would get 2.25. And the height would be the distance from one circle to the other, and that would be 6. So we're going to take these numbers and plug them in. So remember, pi, we're always going to use 3.14. So on pi, we're always going to use 3.14. So that would be whatever pi is, 3.14, times 2.25 squared times your height, which is 6. All right, let's put that in the calculator. I'll zoom out so you can see what I'm pushing. All right, so 3.14, I put that in parentheses. Okay, and I'm doing another parentheses of 2.25 squared, push the square right here, and then times 6. We pop out with 95.3775. Okay, now what are we supposed to do with these two numbers? We're going to subtract those two numbers. So when we subtract those two numbers, and you're using every decimal, we're not rounding yet. So 1083.75 minus 95.3775. You put that in the calculator. You pop out with 988.3725. And now that would be our answer. We just need to make sure we round to anything. They said round to nearest tenths. How many zeros does the number 10 have? So if I say tenth, that'd be one decimal place, right? So the question is, am I staying at 988.3 or am I going to 0.4? That decision is made by the number after the 3. And 7 made it over the hill. So if you look at a hill, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the question is, are we staying at 988.3 or are we going to 988.4? The 7 made it over the hill, so it'd go that number. So 988.4 is your final answer. All right, let's keep going. Okay, number 2. As shown in the diagram, the length, width, and the height of Richard's fish tank is 24, 16, and 18. 24, 16, 18. So no matter what, the base will always be the same, but the water can be as high or low as it needs to be. The water, the height is really 10. So you see that 18? That's not real. So we're talking about the volume of the water. So right now, the height of the water is 10. How much more water will he need if it needs to be 15? All right, so basically, the base will always stay the same because the base of the tank will never stay the same. The water height will change. So basically, 24 by 16 will always be there, right? (24 by 16). Okay, so it needs to be 15, but right now it is 10. So volume is base area times the height, which basically is length times width times height. All right, so we're going to do 24 times 16 times 15. Get that number. So 24 times 16 times 15. So we want it to have a volume of 7560. Our volume right now, 24 by 16 by 10. So 24 times 16 times 10, we have 3840. So how much more water do we need? So we're going to subtract those. So 5760 minus 3840, and we pop out with 1920. And notice that they didn't say anything about rounding. So they didn't say anything about rounding. So if we got 0.3 to 33 to 33, something would have been wrong because they didn't say anything about rounding anywhere. But if we got like if we had like 1920.25, that would have still been safe. But if it was a non-terminating decimal and they didn't say anything about rounding, something was wrong. Okay, but we're okay. That's our answer. Awesome. Okay, number 3. Okay, so number 3. A farm has 2 grain silos, both shaped like right circular cylinders with the dimensions down below. Approximately how many times? Ooh, how many times? So they said how many times is the volume smaller of the smaller silo will the volume of the larger silo be? Okay, so how many times? So we need to find each one, and then we have to divide them. So it's not how much more, which, we subtract, it's how many times. So this one is how many more times. So we're going to divide these numbers, see how much bigger one is from the other. Okay, so we need to find each silo. All right, so let's just do from left to right. Okay, so from silo A. All right, so we know for volume is base area times the height, right? So what shape is the base? A circle. So that'd be pi r squared times the 3D height. So we want the radius and we want the height of the shape. So for this, I know for silo A that radius, diameter, and height. Now the diameter is 12. I put that in the wrong spot. Diameter is 12, so then the radius would have to be 6. And the height was 30. So we're going to use those numbers and plug that in. So it's pi 6 squared times 30. So we're going to use 3.14 times 6 squared times 30. And we pop out with this decimal. So our volume is 3391.2. Awesome. Now let's look at silo B. All right. So once again, volume equals base area times the height. That is pi r squared. That's the shape of the base times the height of the shape. So for silo B, we want radius, diameter, and the 3D height, right? So if we look at silo B, I know that the diameter is 30, so the radius would have to be 15. You just divide by 2. And if you're not sure, if you forget that, there it is on your hot topics. So page 1. All right, and then the 3D height is still 30. All right, so we're just going to plug these in. So it's pi 15 squared times our height, which is 30. All right, so we just need to type that in our calculator. So 3.14 times 15 squared times 30, and we pop out with 21195. Okay, now what are we supposed to do with these two numbers? Okay, now you instinctively go, oh, I divide them, or I subtract them, but no, because it's how many times bigger. So you're going to divide one by the other. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Okay, so I put a little comma so I can see the difference between them. Okay, so this is 21 and this is 3. So we want to take the big one, so the big divided by the small. And in this case, that would be the 21,195 and the 3,391.2. All right, so we're going to divide those two. All right, so we have 21,195 divided by 3,391.2. And we get 6.25. Ooh, that's a nice pretty number, isn't it? Not the prettiest, but it's pretty. But still pretty. Okay, and make sure we're answering the question. They said round to nearest whole number. Oh, yeah. Whole number. Okay, so it's staying at 6, or is it going up to 7? It would stay at 6. And that's your final answer. All right, and number 4. There are 3 silos on a farm filled with grain. They have a diameter of 18, a height of 69, and the silo has a height of 9. And a height of 9 for the cone. Okay, so basically this picture. How many cubic feet of grain can the silo hold? Okay, so we are going to go ahead and find this volume. Let's break it down into manageable parts. So we have the cone, where this is 9, and then this distance from here to here is 18. And then we also have the cylinder. The cylinder. Okay, now here we know from here to here is 9. So what's from here to here? So if all of this is 69 and this part's 9, what's left over? That would have to be 60. So for the cylinder, the height is 60 and we still have a diameter of 18. All right, so now we want to find the volumes. So volume equals, for a cone, okay, a cone is a type of pyramid. So it's 1/3 base area times height. So 1/3 base area times height. That is 1/3. What shape is the base? A circle. And the base area would be pi r squared times the 3D height. Okay, so we need to just find all of our stuff, right? So I know that my height is 9, radius and diameter. I know the diameter is 18, so divide by 2, my radius would also be 9. Awesome. So it's 1/3 pi. My radius is 9 squared. And my 3D height just happens to be 9. All right, so let's put that in the calculator. So you don't want to do 0.3. It's 1 divided by 3 is 0.3333333. So if you're going to do decimal version of this, make sure you're using as many 3s as you possibly can. So, but I'm just going to use parentheses. 1 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 9 squared times 9. We get 763.02. All right, let's do the next part. So for this one, volume equals, this is straight up base area times the height. So the base is a circle, so that's pi r squared times the 3D height. Now let's think about this for a second. I know my 3D height is 60. I know radius and diameter. I know diameter is 18, so the radius would have to be 9. So all I have to do is take these numbers and plug them in. So pi 9 squared times the 3D height, which is 60. All right, type it in your calculator. So 3.14 times 9 squared times 60. We pop out with 15260.4. Awesome. Okay, so now what are we going to do with these two numbers? Okay, are we adding, subtracting, dividing? What are we doing? Okay, one on top of the other. We're putting them together, so that's adding. So let's add those two numbers. So 763.02 plus 15260.4. And we pop out with, ran out of room, so I'll put it up here. 16023.42. Awesome. Okay, so this should be our answer. Let's make sure we're answering everything they wanted. Okay, so how many cubic grains? We got that. Round to nearest tenth. Ooh, tricky little buggers. How many zeros does 10 have? 1. So the question is, are we staying at 0.4 or going up to 0.5? That decision would be made by the number after it. 2 did not make it over the hill. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 didn't make it over the hill, so it'd roll back to where it started. So it'd stay at 16023.4, and that is your final answer. All right, excellent. All right, so go ahead, do the next 2 pages, and have a great and wonderful day.